back bumper, looking to the inside at 10. They make contact. Elliott spins the three into the tires, and Chase Elliott trying to hang on. Across the stripe he'll go. Elliott wins in Canada.
Mike Skeen has spun around. Max Pappas around. Ryan.
There you go.
Hamlin gave him a shot.
Outside, barely. Outside.
Hamlin there. Logano to the bottom, trying to hold his ground.
That's going to be tough, though, but he's been running good on the top.
We're going back. You ready? I'm ready. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I started drag racing when I was 12 years old, but I first got introduced to the sport when I was 6. There was a movie on Disney Channel called Right on Track, and it was about 2 girls that were around my age at the time, and they were racing junior dragsters. And 2 girls in real life, Erica Enders and Courtney Enders, are sisters, and Erica still races professionally. But I saw it when I was 6, and I was just mesmerized by it. I mean, to see not only kids my age racing cars, but to see girls my age racing cars was huge. And growing up right next to the racetrack, I begged and pleaded for my dad to let me race, and finally when I was 12 we met Erica at a race, and she changed my dad's perspective. My dad was really kind of like, I don't know if I want you to go down a racetrack at 85 miles an hour, but I started racing when I was 12, and being a female in drag racing is actually pretty good. I think Erica and Courtney kind of paved the way, especially for young girls in the sport, because when I was out there racing, it was about 50-50 when it came to girls in the sport and guys in the sport. There wasn't a huge divide. It was very, very close. So hats off to them for making it a little bit easier for people like me to get into the sport. With karting, I have noticed that I am maybe out of 200 competitors, I might be one of like 2 or 3 girls. So it's a bit different in karting. My favorite racetrack is Auto Club Speedway. One, because of the convenience, it's 5 minutes away from my house, but also Auto Club Speedway has everything. They have a drag strip, which is where I first went down the racetrack when I was 12 years old. They have a kart track, they have an oval, and they have a road course on the infield of the oval. And I've raced on everything except the oval, but that racetrack is just spectacular.
I don't necessarily think I knew what I wanted to do. I just knew that going to school was important and continuing my education. I took a year off school in between high school and going to college, and I did some stuff working on the race cars, and had a 5-day-a-week, 40-hour-a-week job, and I realized I didn't want to do what I was doing for the rest of my life. I think here I can probably count on the number of days I've dreaded coming to work, probably on one hand, over 18 years of being here. So I think if you can find something like that, it just makes your career so much easier and more enjoyable. I would not be here had I not took the initiative to talk to Roger Penske. And I met Roger Penske when I worked at Laguna Seca when I was a paid intern after I got out of college, and was fortunate enough to meet him. And I knew who he was. Growing up around racing, he was an idol of mine, and his drivers were idols of mine. So I was nervous. I thought, what do I say? And I thought I just have to say something. And fortunately, what I said made an impression. And he told my boss then to kind of keep an eye on me, and he did. And that's kind of what led to my first job here at Auto Club Speedway, which was then California Speedway. This place was built by Penske. So I tell our salespeople, you can make more money going and selling copiers or widgets, but you're not going to have as much fun. So why not sell something that you enjoy selling, and make a decent living at it? But first and foremost is lifestyle. And I think the easiest thing to do is throw someone in a school car at anything over 100 miles an hour, and they're going to realize their arms are going to pump up, their brain activity is going to increase, they're going to start sweating. It is a very physical and mentally draining occupation to be in the race car, and I don't know. For what the drivers go through for 400 miles, I can only imagine. But they are athletes, and to do that and sustain that level of performance for hours on end at those speeds in a cockpit of a race car that temperatures can be upwards of 150 degrees, and they're relaxed. You and I are going to do that, and our arms are going to pump up. Our hands are going to get real tight and want to cramp. They're athletes. I don't care what anybody says, and no matter if you're racing on dirt or you're racing on a 2-mile D-shaped oval like here. Or go-karts. I mean, I could throw you in a go-kart and I would wear you out. in a couple sessions of a go-kart. You'd be just as tired doing that, if not more, and find out you've got some muscles that are sore that you never knew you had. So they're athletes, there's no doubt about it. I mean, the safety improvements have been tremendous in NASCAR especially, but in motorsports in general. And I think that's one of the things that people forget is most of the things that you and I enjoy on the streets have come from racing. You know, just the seat belt. I mean, people used to think not having a seat belt on was a safe thing many years ago. And you know, seat belt technology, the impact technology that they have within our passenger cars, you know, is just tremendous. Not to mention tires. You know, the BioSply tire. You know, the safety things that they put into the tires. It all starts on the racetrack. So it's a proving ground, so to speak, for things that can translate to the general population and keep us all safe. That's a really good thing. We want the fans to be safe. We want the drivers to be safe. We want the teams to be safe on pit lane, especially in the garages.
I need you guys to sit here so I can.
This is the world famous family car. You know, it takes me anywhere from A to B with the stop of to AB. I don't know. Kidding. Anyways, yeah, I had this car for like 15 years. No, 60 years. My bad. But yeah, I got a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, it's first time racing. We'll see what happens. I have some great expectations for Rolla. We'll see what happens. Hopefully my engine doesn't blow up.
Look at all this smoke. We got stuff. All right, come to a stop. Stop. Please, stop. Brakes. Stop. Don't move. Stop. You're losing stuff. Stop. The brake pedal. It's the one in the middle. You can do it. I know you can. Go.
It was good actually. I didn't know what to expect. My whole body was full of adrenaline. The only thing that was bad though is that we had to wait a little while because they had to clean up the track because the person who raced before us like had a little spill. But I mean, other than that, it was pretty good.
Is that something you do again?
I would consider it doing again if I have a better car, but right now, not so much. I fucking lost.
The first time racing was pretty different, you know, something I've never done before. So my mind was just focused on getting the race done and over with and beating my opponent, you know, so I could just go to the restroom and take care of business. I would definitely race again. Not in my car though. Give me a Lambo, give me something, man. Something I could start up even better.
Okay, cool. What? Oh yeah, and did you win or lose?
Dude, I already told you I got the dub. I needed to use the restroom.
You fucking asshole!
Wrap this interview up by just saying hello to Mr. Bloom. You know, hopefully you can hear some of the noise in the background here. We've got cars on track today. I think we can get your blood pumping. You need to get your butt out here to Auto Club Speedway, see if we can get your adrenaline pumping a little bit, take you around this racetrack at speed, and maybe we can film that too. So thanks for sending your students out. I've really enjoyed it. They're great. Give them an A.